between prisoners did hold. One of the images we have of Nazi camps is total atomization. Every man for himself, and this is certainly, if you read Primo Levi, his book, Survival in Auschwitz, he talks about the law of the lodger, the law of the camp, which is basically everybody for himself. Everyone is doing what he or she can do to survive at the cost of everyone else. One of the unique things about Strachwitz, well, not unique, but one of the particular characteristics of it, is that many people who went into the camp went in with at least some other family members. People in Wirtschnick, the older prisoners, would often, as a matter of survival, buy work permits for the father, for the mother, and the teenage children. Children younger than that, they would try to hide with Poles because they could not get work permits. And so they would go in as a kind of nuclear family. And others that would flee to Wirtschnick would flee as brother and sister, or brothers would come into the camp and family would stay together. And so the Eisenberg brothers are in the camp. And the capacity to have someone else, or at least a small group of people, as your support system, the people who you can work with and will be there for you, and the fact that family ties do not break down, despite all the aspects of the system that were geared towards making people try to be as selfish in surviving at any cost, did not, in fact, for the most part, overcome the preservation of family ties. And it really is family ties as the glue of the Strachwitz prisoner community that enables it, in fact, to have some kind of coherence, and why the camp does not collapse into a kind of jungle war of each against all, and that there is pockets of solidarity generally focused around people in families, family ties, sometimes wider relatives, but that people created their little support systems within the camp, usually through family ties, that provided the kind of crucial support, the kind of crucial networking that would allow people to sustain themselves. Nowhere was this more important, say, than when the typhus epidemic sweeps through the camp, because it would strike one member of the family, and if there's nobody there to hide them or to carry them on their back to the factory, to feed them, and then when that person is healed and they have immunity, somebody else in the family falls ill, and they would take care of each other in sequence. And none of them would survive from that illness alone, but working together would be able to allow people to in sequence, help one another, and survive the Althoff reign of terror when he was out trying to catch and uncover sick prisoners in order to kill them. And of course, later when it comes to bribing, often you need a group. You need people working together to pool their sources, to pay extra money to a particular foreman for something, or to pay a Ukrainian guard to allow you to do something. Again, family ties, working in groups, gave a more leverage, gave a possibility for prisoners to have some kind of way of shaping their own life. One of the things then that came out of this study was a sense that despite this incredible disparity between German power and Jewish weakness, Jewish prisoners found ways to have agency. They found ways to have some control over some aspects of their life to cope with the system. And that, I think, if there's one sort of key lesson came out of this, it was the inadequacy in which previous vocabulary has spoken about prisoner responses. Almost invariably they talk either about Jewish resistance or Jewish passivity. Either one joined in the partisans or the ghetto uprisings or whatever, or you passively went to the camps and complied with whatever the Germans ordered. And it is that dichotomy that I think is an utterly false dichotomy. The prisoners in Strachwitz are not passive. They are engaged in all sorts of ingenious ways of creating an underground camp economy to sustain themselves, of finding networks of bribery to mitigate against various German policies, that this is not resistance in the classic sense, but it certainly is not passivity. That they are exploring a whole array of survival strategies. And this whole notion of resistance or passivity, I just found, having written this book, to be almost irrelevant, that we needed a very different vocabulary. That the vocabulary we need is one of perseverance, of ingenuity, of accommodation, of coping, enduring, but resistance on the one hand, which wasn't in the picture here, or passivity on the other, simply don't capture the reality of life in the camps and what was possible, and instead what was crucial is the way in which, in a situation of near total powerlessness, prisoners were able, in extraordinarily ingenious ways, to cope with the situation that they faced, to devise various kinds of survival strategies. And it is that ingenuity and that endurance, I think, that was, in a sense, the most dividing lesson of the book. Thank you very much.
So I'd invite Yechiel to come and speak for a bit, and then the two of you can answer some questions. Sure.
Ladies and gentlemen, I am a survivor of the Holocaust. Mr. Brownie wrote the book. I know everything in this book, what Mr. Brownie wrote, I lived through in there. And I was a person that I didn't pay people, Germans, money to get into this camp for 4 years. In 1939, when the Germans got into our camp, I was 17 years old. In 39, I was 17 years old. And when the Germans came in, my mother got sick, and she passed away, and she left my father with 8 children. With 6 boys and 2 girls. When they came in, they started taking boys to work in our town. I don't come from Germany, and I don't come from the place where the camps were. I came from a different direction, and I didn't pay any money to get into there. I didn't have the money. What happened? And one day, in 1941, the Germans came in to our town. We were working there on the snow, on the roads, everything day by day. And one day in 41, an army truck came in with 2 Jewish police from Stachowitz, from this camp. And they took about 50 boys on the 2 vehicles, and they bring us into this camp. We have to say goodbye to my father, my sisters and brothers, you know. And we worked there since 1941 till 42. And for my brother was married and had a wife and 2 children. He was older 10 years than I. He was the first one. When we got into this camp, so we were working there, shoveled the snow, shoveled the roads, you know. And then when the vehicle came and took the 50 people, they took us over there with 2 Jewish police and Gestapos. And they took about 50 boys of us into Stachowitz, to this camp, for which tells you about it. You know? I stayed there until 1942. In 1942, they were coming out, who is sick, or who doesn't feel good, has a damage, he should go home to their homes. And I was away about 2 or 3 times from this one, from the ethnic. So my brother, he was older, he took, you gotta have a defect to go back home, because we left our families there in 1941. So he put a piece of wire in his hands full up. And I was a younger brother, so I had to follow him. So I took and I scratched my fingers in between to show them what kind of sickness we got. In 42, they came out and their call came in a town from Opatov. Maybe you heard Opatov. Kirchengebäude. Came in a group, and they told us in 42, so my little town was chased out. Nobody for Jewish people are there anymore. Because we didn't have no trains, they had to use them by wagon, crossing wagons, on maybe a bicycle or something, yeah? And they got them into a bigger town where they had some trains. And I was still remaining with my brother there in the camp. And the boys told us, so our camp was already out, so we start taking out the wires, and I scratched my finger between. I got this cut on them, and I couldn't help myself not when I heard the our town is out from our home. My brother could help himself. He took the wire out, and he started taking hot water, and the swelling went away. Mine crosses between the fingers didn't get off. In 42, at the end of October, they start calling us up and say who signed up, who is sick, should go home. And we have to show him the sickness. My brother was the first one. He was a tall fellow like Mr. Brownlee over here. And he was the cold voice, and they asked him to show his hand. He did. They told him to go back to the barracks. And they called my name. I couldn't do nothing about it because my blisters were still there between my fingers. I was separated from my brother. That time they took maybe about 10 or 15 boys, and they bring us in with the workshops, with the carines. They took us into this town from the camp, the same camp from this talks about it. I went into the town by myself, because I left my brother there. I didn't have no other choice. I was sure maybe he's gonna survive. I come into this home on a Friday night. The light was burning, the Jewish people were still home, and I didn't have a place where to go. I had an uncle over there, and I find his house. This was on a Friday night. I'm going into his house. He was living on the first floor. He was ready to go to shul. So he has his kirtle on, his heels on, and he's ready with a Jewish head, and he went to shul. Before he left the house, I have to ask him, because I'm in a strange place for myself. I say, Uncle, where am I going to sleep over here? Then he told me there is here a homeless home. But people are staying in this home, and you have a place over there to stay. I didn't have no other choice. I have to go look where this homeless place is. Ladies and gentlemen, I can tell you, when I got into this home, if you would see the homeless people in there, small children, fella, I stopped opening my mouth in very bad language and told him, how come you came out from there? I didn't have a choice. I have to be here and be sent to Auschwitz. Or there's someplace there, or the Buchenwald. Or you had a chance to stay there. So the answer I had from my brother is, I feel what's going to happen to me, that's going to happen to you. Yeah? This was very good. 3 days later, when I took him to the apartment, he stayed with me in this apartment. So I go over to my apartment. I knew where I'm going. This was on a Sunday afternoon. Sunday night, we both went there to the same apartment. He went with me. He left the wife and 2 children home. Yeah. We stayed there. And Sunday morning, he came, and I recognized him. I started screaming, and he was very powerful because he was older brother than me. He was 10 years older. I had to listen to what he was saying. Then by Monday night, we went to the same place to sleep. Tuesday morning, at 3 o'clock in the morning, we heard screaming and shooting from the German police already. They're chasing out the whole town to go away to Buchenwald. To the, like Auschwitz, Buchenwald, Dachau, to these places. And we go out, everybody has to go out on the market. I'm staying there with my brother. They're taking out people to work to the fabrics, like Mr. Brownlee was saying, right? I stay on the street there, like in the market, and they're going by, this one goes to this factory, the other one goes to the other factories, and I didn't want to go to the factories anymore because I came back from the camp. So I felt, whatever is going to happen to these people, it's going to happen to us. So we stayed there. And they were taking away men from wives, they took away women and children, and they took them into the factories, because we had a lot of factories over there. So what happened, while we stayed there, they took the other people away. So a woman was there with 5 children. She was crying, and we were also by ourselves, and we told her in Jewish, "Lady, don't be afraid. We're going to help you with your children. Wherever we could, we're going to go with you." The train was right there across the street from the market. And we're going to help you. Didn't take long, the 2 police took us in our town to bring to the factory in 41. So they're walking by, taking out people to work. They recognized me with my brother. They say, "Eisenberg, do you want to go and work city work?" City work. This was already the other people was taken away. The other ladies were taken away. It was just sick people, and old people, and small children. While the police are going by, they say, "Eisenberg, would you like to go out to work town work?" Yeah? And my brother says to me, he says, "Henry, Yechiel, come." Yeah? And he took me out, and they took another more boys with us. What was and the others they shipped away already to the trains. And people left there, about 80 people. The first day, we had to go out, and the Bürgermeister von town, that's mean like the mayor of town, he gave us horse wagons to go around house to house with the Jewish people where they shut them Tuesday morning, to pick them up and bring them to the cemetery, the Vierberg cemetery. They had a bulldozer there, all digged out already for these people who were shot. We picked them up, put them up on the wagon, and bring them to the cemetery. We did their burial, all in one grave. Men and women and children, wherever they shot, we put them in one grave. While we are there in camp, what happened, in 44, in October, they stopped all the factories that we're not going to work anymore. So we're going to be sent away to Auschwitz. This was in 44, it was in July, 44. They were going around and telling them we're not coming to work anymore. It's finished. You're going to go this and this. Usually, Jewish people know what's going to happen to us. And by news, you knew it. So we're going to be sent away and never come back to be alive. So we were there. Then he took us out to this factory in 42, in October. No, in 44, was in July. They closed up all the factories, so we're not going to work. And we're going to have to be inside in the barracks. So a lot of our boys, we organized, we say we're going to have to rip the barbed wire in the night time and start to escape. The woods were not far from the place we were staying where our camp was, the working camp. So we organized in the night time, we're going to get together and go up on the fence. We're going to jump over. At that time, we knew already that the Russians are fighting with the Germans. So we knew we've got to do something about it. So the first night, they were shooting people, they were laying right and left people dead ones. The second morning, when the Gestapo came and told us, who from you people are going to escape? It's going to look the same way like these people around this fence. But where they lay injured, in sick ones, you're going to look the same way. When they told us to go back to the barracks, we went back on the fence. This was the second night. When you're going to read the book, you're going to see that they ripped this barbed wire in 2 times. One in the night and one in the night, and one during the daytime, 11 or 12 o'clock in the morning. Not 12 in the morning, in the afternoon. And while they told us to go back to the barracks, we went straight on the fence. and we lived there. When we going after, they stopped shooting already, we heard maybe an hour later, and we were in the forest already. And we didn't hear no more shooting. So my brother says to me, he says, you know, Henry, let's go to our town where I was born, where I live, where he left his wife and the 2 children, and we're going to see what to do over there, because they were already fighting for the Russians. We go by on the road, the Germans are driving by with their vehicle, they didn't bother us at all. We came into us about 2 kilometers from our town. So my brother, as a youngster, he was a horse handler with horses. So he used to go to the villages to trade horses with the farmers over there. So he knew a place for the Polish people, maybe this woman is going to take us in over there to hide us, because we didn't have a place where to go. She was hiding us, let's say, about 3-4 weeks. She was cooking food for us, she bring us into the stable there, or in the place where they have their hay, you know, in the barn, and we stayed there. During the night time, about 12, 1 o'clock at night, we hear a lot of noise. A lot of noise. Who was there? We were free. We were free from the Russians. The soldiers came in with the horses, the riders came in for us to this little village that we were hiding. We go out, and our town was taken already by the Russians. So my brother told me, he says, Henry, let's go home. In our home, we're going to see what's doing over there, because we left the 41. We come into the town, a Polish lady was living there. Her husband was not alive. She had children. And she told us what happened to our parents, to his wife and children, and we didn't have no other choice. Then the rumors was going around in 44, said the Germans are coming back. They're fighting back the war. Yeah? I said, where could we go now? We have to run again. Where did we run? Over the Whistle, you know, where the boats are going, you know. So they have, between one side was the Russians and one side was the Germans. Yeah? So we tried to escape into the Russian side, because we knew the Russians were not going to bother us, and we went over there in 44, already when we were free. Yeah? And we stayed there till 1945. In 1945, I was in Lodge in Poland, because everybody was looking for family. And because they had a Jewish community already in Lodge, it was a big town. Everybody who survived came into this community there and signed up their names, who survived, and they're looking for family. Maybe somebody survived. Yeah? And we left our names there on the bulletin board. And my wife, she should rest in peace, she passed away in 87. She left me with four boys. You know? And she was there in this camp. We got after another camp, and we got married. We went into Germany. We stayed in Germany till 1945, 49. From 45 to 49 on the American side. Yeah. Because we have to wait for the quota to get into America, or to go into Canada, or to go into Israel. These 3 places. So it took us 4 years to stay there. And then we got our visa in 1949, and I came with my wife, she should rest in peace, with my oldest son. He's not here. 2 sons I got over here. He's Elliot Eisenberg. This is 2 of them. The 2 of them didn't come in. One lived in California, and the other one, his wife got sick before he wouldn't be here. And his wife got sick, so he couldn't make it. And that's the way I can tell you how I survived. And now, I tell you my life. By being a survivor, I didn't do so bad. Yeah. I raised 4 sons on a farm, me and my wife. So, and they got married. We came to have 4 sons and 7 grandchildren and 6 great-grandchildren. Yeah. That's what I accomplished my whole life. And this is a blessing for God that I just achieved this thing, because my wife